What's up everyone, I've got 11 tips to share with you that I really wish I knew going into Diablo 4. These will help you die less, progress faster, have a smoother gameplay experience, and save you hours of pain. If you're a hardcore player or someone who wants to avoid death at all costs, you definitely want to stick around to the end. Let me know how many of these you already knew in the comments, and if you knew all 11, I'll buy you a health potion and Kyovashad. Let's get started. First is to respec at any time and to not be afraid to test out different builds early on. The respecking cost is almost non-existent even in the mid to late game. Try what feels fun for you and make your build your own if you don't plan on following a pre-made build. Second is to tunnel vision on completing the campaign as fast as possible on your first playthrough, and to consider playing World Tier 1 as it'll make clearing mobs during the campaign faster, which is more important than the 20% monster XP bonus from World Tier 2. The campaign quests provide great early game XP, and completion of the campaign is necessary to progress to World Tier 3 and to access endgame content, so you don't want to be gated by the campaign if you hit level 50 early on. Also, just enjoy the cinematics and the final acts of the campaign. They're pretty cool despite the rest of the campaign simply being okay. After any character has finished the campaign, any future characters can enter Sanctuary with the option to skip it. Next is looting less. I know it's hard to resist the temptation to pick up every shiny thing in sight in this game, but there's a level of restraint you'll need to hone as you progress, which will save you dozens of hours in town. Early on, you'll be progressing so fast that it's not worth thinking about your items too hard. If the stats are higher, just put it on and keep leveling. As you start hitting the level 20 to 30 mark, you should consider leaving blue items on the ground, and after making it into World Tier 3, I'd recommend only holding onto items you see with 4 perks or more unless the 3 item rolls really complement your build. Selling items early on is also pretty well useless as your gold generation scales with your levels, so spare yourself the town trips for gear dumps until later. 4 is a must for anyone looking to min-max or better understand the strength of the loot they're acquiring. Head into your game settings and enable Advanced Tooltip Information, and if you like, Advanced Tooltip Compare. Personally, I leave Compare off as I find the information presentation terrible, but the Advanced Tooltip is great. It provides you with much clearer information on what the min or max roll is for your gear, which is particularly useful for understanding whether you have a max roll aspect or not. The gloves on screen, for example, are a min rolled aspect because I imprinted it from the codex. 5 is to make sure you have at least one ability from your kit that breaks CC and makes you unstoppable. This is an absolute must for hardcores, as CC in this game is often multiple seconds long, and without a CC break, you're a sitting duck and will almost certainly die later in the game. 6 revolves around long-term progression, and that is to grind out your renown passively as you progress through the campaign by grabbing all Lilith statues and side quests on your journey to help unlock additional skill points and potion capacity. You can rack up 10 extra skill points and reach 9 potion capacity just by hitting rank 3 on each region renown, along with each Lilith statue providing a +2 to a single stat, which does add up over the long run. Personally, I just keep an interactive map from d4builds.gg up and tick them off as I find them. It's incredibly useful. These rewards also carry over to any new character you create, which is a giant boost for getting them online quickly. Pro tip, there are also 4 statues of Lilith in the Dry Steppes region that provide a Paragon point each that are highlighted in red on the interactive map if you want some free Paragon points to use once you hit level 50. 7 is understanding poison to your player. If you've ever been smacked by a poisonous enemy and you see a giant chunk of your red health bar turn yellow, don't panic right away. You're not on the brink of death, it's simply an indicator of where your HP will end up if the full duration of the poison applied to you ticks down. No need to chug potions like a madman if you have plentiful healing in your kit to counteract it. Just keep stock of the top of where the yellow bar is for your actual current HP. If you're enjoying the video and want to see more game guides and Diablo 4 content, then drop a like and consider subscribing. 8 is to not unnecessarily fight monsters well above your current level. Enemies 3 levels above you provide a 25% XP bonus, but anything higher than that is still 25%, but the monsters will be significantly harder and will force you into an unnecessarily cautious playstyle. So avoid fighting anything much higher level than you unless your build can handle it and the potential rewards make it worth it. 9 is to pay careful attention to the modifiers under the health bars of elites. Over time, you'll become familiar with what each one does, and you'll adjust your playstyle accordingly to help ensure you avoid careless deaths like this. 10 is explicit move commands. You'll often find in your efforts to path through mobs using your primary and core skill attack move command will force you to attack enemies in your path rather than moving through them. By binding a direct move command key, you can guarantee no stopping to attack mobs and prevent accidental deaths in large piles of mobs. And finally, our 11th tip is a number of gameplay setting adjustments that will help make gameplay smoother and save you from some sticky situations. If you're a group player and want to voice chat, you'll save a lot of pain constantly entering voice chat through the social menu by enabling auto join. I recommend adding push to talk as well and rebinding that to a button that's comfortable for you. You can also enable voice chat focus, which will help you hear people in your party over the decimation of demons in the game, which is often far louder than most voices. Play around with these and see what works for you. Next is in-game loot sounds. It can get annoying hearing drop sounds for thousands of items you have no interest in picking up over time, so I personally opt to only get sounds for legendary items and above. Plus, enabling the ambient loot sounds can help make sure you don't accidentally miss them. This is my personal preference, but I highly recommend switching your ability buttons to QWER as it's much more comfortable on my hands ergonomically and gives more flexibility for binds above and below your resting hand position. And our final setting, which is arguably the most important, is action wheel binding. In your action wheel, you can add potions and scrolls of escape to it, and then bind a specific key to that position on the action wheel. This will allow you to single button press to Scroll of Escape, which has saved my life numerous times from particularly dicey situations on my hardcore. I find the 5 key to be a great button for that, while G is a nice exit dungeon button. And that wraps up our 11 tips for today. If you found them helpful, let me know what was the most useful in the comments, and if you're looking for a great early game XP farm, particularly for solo players, then make sure to check out this video next. See you in Sanctuary. Peace.